Peyson, matter of fact, in lieu of the conversation that we had, you remember how I was telling you about interest rates and whatnot?
Yeah.
Come to find out, your boy got approved for a fourth, what was it, a 4.25 on the Raptor. And I was like, I'll take that.
There we go. There we
My
go.
next thing is going to be buying another property before the end of the year.
I'm buying one right now. Guys, before we get started, I just wanted to show you this real quick. For on Claude Code, I could give it to you. I built this out. It's a full like content studio. And so it tracks everything that has to do with my Instagram. And right now it's like uploading stuff from yesterday. So it's not fully up to date just yet. But it's a live API key from Instagram Meta over to this website. It pulls all my active posts that like I've literally made real time, gives me insights for everything, all time, stuff on my account, averages, how many times I'm posting each day. And then there's like session prep and session mode, script writer, Hook Lab Studio, Discover Boards, Autopsy, Pattern Reader, Inspiration, History. And then I have like this that I built in reverse engineer. You could take like a TikTok or Instagram reel link, paste it in here, it'll analyze it and completely break down the video for you. No one wants it. Okay, never mind.
Yes,
No, I
Payson,
want it.
I do. I
I
was
Send
want
gonna.
it
that.
over.
Yes, yes, I want that very much.
Hey, Payson, really quick. He
Yeah.
like a huge highlight to this whole content thing. You remember how I texted you yesterday? I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going in."
Yeah.
Well, I made a post this morning, like getting ready for the gym, about a Bible verse that impacted my life, Psalm chapter 12, verse 6. Dude,
Hmm.
I just got a text from somebody. He said, I'll read it verbatim. He said, "Hey, Gabe, my name is Jesus Pena, and I personally don't know you, but I saw one of your videos talking about a Bible verse, and then I realized you're also a real estate agent. I live in the Woodlands Hills, which is like a master plan community up here." And he said, and a couple of years ago, I bought this acreage property that I need to sell. Are you interested in selling it, or do you only sell homes? From a video I made about a Bible verse, not even about real estate.
So here's what I would recommend, guys. Don't overthink what you want to post. Post who you are, post what you like to talk about, post your interest, right? Post the things that resonate with you like that, and people will find you. The more specific you are about who you are, and think about it like this, right? I heard this the other day. When you're posting, make it to where that post and what you talk about is directed towards a single person, a single type of person. Don't make it to where it's a blanket to where it fits all these different types of people. Make it to where it only fits one person. You're talking to one person. So it's like if maybe you make your content around 21-year-olds in Westchester that do 100 open houses in 100 days and have funny looking sunglasses. And that's what all the content's about. I'm just playing around. I'm looking directly at Sam as I say it. But the
That
point
dude
is
must be
like,
so cool.
but the point is like, post. You're super robot-y, I think, because you're in your car. You need a Starlink. Um, uh, Point is, guys, post stuff about what you like to talk about. I think that's awesome, Gabe. I think that is so cool that like you made a post not doesn't have anything to do about real estate and look what it did. Um, I mean, if you guys want, we could just kind of go through this all too, and I could talk more through all the specifics of this. Um, and then because I was going to touch on some open house stuff today too, just because I feel like we haven't touched on open house stuff in a while, and a lot of people are doing them. But if we want, we can kind of take a deeper dive into this as well. If you guys would like, just tell me what you guys want.
Jason, I'm super, super interested in the content that you're posting, kind of your thought
I'm
minimum
losing you,
of like
Sam.
10 reels a day. So you're arguably the best person to talk about that in this space right now.
I'm losing Sam. Is anyone else losing Sam?
No, I
It's
just stopped
been like that
talking.
all day.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
that Tesla, dude. You need to get a combustion engine. Goodness gracious.
Just put it, Sam, seriously, go get a Starlink Mini, suction cup it to the inside of your sunroof, and you'll be perfect.
All right.
Say what you're saying though, and I'm gonna stop your video because when your service is bad, it's easier for Zoom to pick it up with just what you're saying. So go ahead and say
I
what you
was
said
just
again, 'cause I did not pick it up.
I was just saying I'm super interested to hear your thought process behind what you're posting, who your target audience is, and what your goals behind it. Because you're doing like 10 plus posts a day, so you're arguably the best person in this space to really touch on this.
So yeah, I'm doing 10 plus posts a day. I'm targeting like typically like right now, like what I'm really trying to niche down to is like that young entrepreneur, that 18 to 25-year-old entrepreneur. Like that's really what I'm focused on right now. I've changing my content to where I'm still doing all the real estate tactical stuff where probably a lot of you found me from. And I think it's super good content. But I was thinking about it and I was like, do I want people in 10 years to just know me for super tactical real estate agent advice? Or do I want them to know more about me and what I like to talk about? And so like that was like kind of like a shift in me, like a pivot of like, okay, like I want to still keep posting the stuff I'm posting, but I'm not just going to blitz just that anymore because I don't feel like people are getting to know who I am at all. And I think that that's important in our content. So, like what I'm doing right now is I do 10, at least 10 pieces of content every day. I don't know if you guys just saw, but yesterday I announced on Instagram, I'm doing 1,000 reels over the next 100 days. And that's 1,000 new videos over the next 100 days, not like stitching old ones, not like using old content, not, repurposing content. It's 1,000 new reels every day. And that's part of the reason why I built this out, which I dropped in the chat the two different PDFs that you guys can use. Just upload those into Claude Code and it will build this out for you. Just upload those in. Don't even follow the steps. Just literally upload them into Claude Code. It'll build it out for you. Um, so does that kind of help answer it, Sam? Or do people have any other questions on that? And we could pivot at any time to. There's two other things I want to talk about today, but we could pivot at any time, or we could keep going down this rabbit hole if everyone wants to go down this rabbit hole. So
I'm down to keep going down this. Can you just show how to paste these into Cloud Code? Is that through the terminal on your desktop, or is that actually on the
you
Claude?
have you have to use Terminal. Um,
Uh,
so like I would go here. I would directly go into this and type, the Claude.
how do you pull up the
Um,
terminal again on a Mac?
Command spacebar and then type terminal.
Okay.
And then just download those two PDFs and just literally drag them from your downloads right into here and say, build this out.
Okay.
Do this. Close window. Um, does that like I know we keep touching on it a lot. I really believe heavily in it right now. Like, does everyone see like the power of what like social media is doing right now? I mean, I know there's guys who are just spamming home tours and that's literally changing their business. I feel like by the week, like their business is literally growing right now. Like you can see it visually growing by the week. No.
I mean, I kind of got away from it, Peyson. I don't know why I took, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it, right? Because I don't like to do things half-ass. And I feel like I just kind of overcomplicated the content and whatnot, and for some odd reason now it just kind of clicked. But I would just do the calls and then open houses, and like I was pretty comfortable with the growth that was happening within my business. And then I saw you start doing that. And then Matt was doing home tours and whatnot. Bryson started to pop off. And I'm like, okay, I'm really underutilizing a tool that's at my fingertips and it takes 2.5 minutes. I mean, dude, like the text thread that you, Nate, and I had yesterday, I made 3 reels, scheduled them this morning. I edited the captions while I was brushing my teeth to get ready to go to the gym this morning. And so it's like so simple. I do think the one thing that I overcomplicated in a sense, and I still kind of like think about it, is what route do I want to take? right? And maybe this is kind of like a younger individual thinking more black and white, but it's like, do I do the home tour? Do I do more of like the personal and business development? Do I do more of like the entrepreneur? Like,
You
you know
do it
what I'm
all.
saying? There's so many different
There,
content buckets.
you could have 3 to 4 different pillars.
Yeah,
I would have
that's
3 to
fair.
4 different pillars. Like, don't feel like you guys have to box yourselves into one thing. Like, you guys have multiple different interests. And remember, like Gabe, you just said at the beginning of the call, like, you got someone that reached out to you asking if you could list their land because you posted about a Bible verse that resonated with you.
Yeah. No, I mean, my point is just like, don't overcomplicate it.
Don't overcomplicate it. You just got to post. It's just
Yeah.
literally, it's just throwing up stuff that you're passionate about too, right? Like, don't throw something up because someone else's post went viral, but it's not something that you actually like or resonate with. Like, don't go throw that up just because it went viral for someone else. Like, if you're not passionate about it, it's not going to do anything. It's just a waste of time.
Hey, Payson.
Yep.
I'm trying to upload this into Cloud Code, and it told me I'm not logged in. But
You just
it
have to
says,
relog in.
I mean, it says
Do
like
the slash
at the top, it says,
login.
"Hey, welcome." Right?
It'll do that. It kicks you out every now and then because it wants you to re-authenticate. So just do the slash login and then go through the prompts to log in again. It's done it to me a few times in the past few weeks.
Okay, copy that. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Unless anyone has any more questions, let's pivot towards. I want to talk about open houses, and I want to hear some of the struggles that people are going through with the open houses right now, because I know pretty much everyone in here is doing them, whether it be on a daily basis or at least once or twice a week. So would love to hear about the struggles, and then anyone that is performing really well or has an answer to that, right? Whoever's saying it, chime in. Like, let's make sure everyone's, jumping in on this. I'd love to hear from everyone, like not just a couple people.
I find that a lot of people are represented. So not sure if that's how much you can get over that, but that's an issue that I run into a lot.
So I know, let's see, I know Sam ran into that issue in the beginning. Um, Eddie was running into that issue a lot. Maybe Eddie, if you want to jump in, I don't know if what we talked about has helped change it anymore.
Uh, so my main question for you, Drake, is going to be when people are walking in, what is the actual process and greeting at the door? And I say that because my 100 open houses challenge just finished like late last week. And for all of it, except for the last 2.5, 3 weeks of it, I was running with a mandatory sign in. And then from there, I would try to have the conversation. And what the biggest change for me was during these last 2.5, 3 weeks was I stopped doing sign in altogether. And that led to more comfortable conversations with people. So even when they would tell me they have a realtor, when I dug into it after that, I would come to find out, oh, it's somebody that they, called from Zillow that they've been vaguely talking to, or oh, it's their sister's husband's brother's like friend that's their realtor that they don't actually have much of a connection to, and they've been willing to engage in that conversation much more upfront. Obviously, I think depending on what area of the country that you're in, sign-in sheets are or are not a big deal. What I found for me up here in Minnesota is they were a huge turnoff for everybody. So I was getting 100% accurate information every time from everybody, but it would kill the conversation at the door so that whenever I would try to engage with them, they wouldn't actually work with me. And then usually the answer would be that they have an agent, and when I try to dig into it, they would come up with any other way to get out of that conversation with me, or they would tell me an agent and then not engage further from there. So if you change up that initial greeting at the door, what it is up front for the approach, that might get you better results, because the whole goal is for people to be comfortable talking to you. If they're not, they're just not going to engage with you flat out. And it took me like 75 days straight to figure that out. So,
What do you do if they, I mean, if they do have like a loose connection to somebody, like how do you turn them basically?
all that I have gone to saying whenever they have some sort of loose connection like that, and again, it would depend. If that loose connection is like a Zillow agent, dude, shooting fish in a barrel. I know night and day, I'll be able to win that business and do a better job 9 times out of 10. If it's a loose or vague family or friend connection, what I say is, well, hey, I'm not really interested in trying to shark, business away from anybody. But a lot of folks, especially with how the market is changing, find value in getting a second opinion. Would you be open to just talking about how I've helped other people be successful and seeing if that matches up with what your goals are? Something in that vein, and that at least gets the conversation to keep moving along, or they feel comfortable giving me their contact information or sitting down to try and book the appointment. Because as long as you frame it as being low pressure with it, and especially if they're already comfortable in the house and talking to you, they're much more likely to engage on that front. And then the only other thing I'll say is, when I have, and this is earlier on in my career, not recently, but earlier on in my career when I was doing open houses, when I would come across folks like this, what I would say at the consultation, if they were still kind of being cagey, is I would tell them something to the effect of, hey, you know what? I really think that I can represent you guys the best, and I don't mind paying so-and-so a referral fee. I just need to know what their name is so that I can just get it to them when the time comes. And I have done that. So that's something to consider, that maybe you get that in finally, but they're still kind of hesitant to work with you versus this other person. You can throw that out there too as sort of another gambit to say, hey, I'll pay them a referral fee. It doesn't bother me. And that's a way that everybody can stay happy. Everything's above board, what have you.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The other piece I'll say to it, which I'm Eddie, I'm curious how it's for you, but I know like with Sam this helped more, with me this helped more, is make sure you guys have big enough open house signs. Like big enough open house signs. The traffic that comes through that doesn't have agents come from open house signs. They're the best traffic. It's the easiest conversations. They came like they had no idea they were going to look for an open house, and then bam, they turned on the street because there's an open house sign. And then if they can't reach the open house, the sign's big enough to where they could grab your phone number while driving 40 miles per hour by. If you're using like 18 by 24 open house signs or something smaller, you're killing your own self. Like go spend the $350 to $500, I think it is, to buy like 6 big A-frame signs. Go do that and use those. It is so much more worth your time. So the other thing too, I always say is like at a certain point in everyone's market, the buyer becomes a lot more sophisticated. And the second that they become more sophisticated, the chance of them having an agent is probably like 85% plus, right? So you want to be just slightly under that to where you're still hopefully capturing the lowest, like, or the highest price point, but the most likely chance for them to not have an agent. Sam, if you can, I'd love for you to touch on this because I know this is something that you and I have worked on for now over a year.
Yeah. And people underestimate the amount of reps that you need to do before you really figure it out. For me, I find that the 300 to 400K spot in my market is a sweet spot because a lot of first time home buyers like to work with me. And it's my favorite client to pick up personally. Some people hate first time home buyers, so it will be different for everyone. But it took me a year to figure out kind of my ideal candidate. If you asked me to describe my perfect open house, it would be probably the 300 to 400K range, single family detached in downtown or Westchester. So I try to target and first week on market. I think the biggest differentiator was sitting stuff that was first week on market.
Before you move on, can everyone just stop and just think about how specific he was with what the exact type of house he was looking for? It wasn't like, oh, I just found a random one and I'm going to go sit it. And then I wonder why things don't work. He knows the exact specific type of house. Like he just labeled it with multiple different things as to what he looks for in a house before he goes and sits it. So like that's another key thing. Like, and you're not going to know that in the beginning, right? But you'll start to figure out, okay, this works when I sit at this neighborhood or this price point or this type of house a lot better for me than it does the other. And the other thing I would also say is Guys, in the beginning, when I first started sitting open houses, I really wanted to sit these $2 and $3 million houses out here, and every person I'd walk in was 70 years old. And I never picked a single one of them up, no matter how much I knew about the neighborhood, the community, the HOA, the house. I was full of knowledge. I knew how to have the conversation, but no one ever wanted to work with me. But I kept wanting to work there, so I just kept trying to brute force my way into it. It never worked for me. Literally the next week, I went over, sat at a house in my community I lived in, and picked up two clients. Both were 600K buyers. Both of them closed within the next 45 days, using the exact same methodology, same thing, everything. But now all of a sudden there are people that resonated with me. And so I had to think to myself, okay, am I going to keep being picky about where I'm sitting because I want to set this really big listing and I'm not getting any business? Or am I going to take what I can get and go make money because I'd much rather the I think the 25 to 30,000 I made off of those two transactions than trying to keep fighting for my life to go make, maybe make 60 off of one, but I've been doing it for over a year and I had no luck with it. So that's the other thing. Like, make sure you guys are sitting in an area where people are going to resonate with you too.
The I have one of my teammates. I don't think she's here, but her name's Mita. Her market, and it's like 45 minutes from her, is Philadelphia. Like she goes into South Philly, and she's found that market, number one, is easy to pick up open houses in, and number two, it's easy to pick up clients in. Because I told her about the PHFA grant, which is the first time home buyer grant, very popular in Philadelphia in that price range. And she goes and uses that script, and she has a lot of success with it. The highest priority for me actually at this point is actually sitting stuff that are first week on market. I know it can be case by case in every single market, but for me, I want to be sitting stuff first week on market.
What other questions do we got on open houses, if any?
I just want to hop in real quick to the last thing that Sam said. So that exact specific segment that we were just talking about, picking out your niche for open houses, it took me until this past weekend when my 100 open houses were done to figure out what that was for me. And in addition, when you know who your actual buyer segment is, it makes the conversations so much easier. Because this past weekend, I had a total of 10 people come through all 8 open houses I did, which is pretty bad, right? You'd want to shoot for at least 2 for each one. I picked up 8 out of those 10 because the conversations are so much easier. And then especially if it's first week on the market in your specific segment, you're going to get a lot better traffic and more at-bats to pick up those leads. So like switching to the 1 hour open house, first week on market in your specific niche type of open house that you do best at, you'll explode. I literally, look at this, y'all. Right here. This is a list of 15 leads because I got tired of trying to track this in an Excel spreadsheet. I wrote this down 2 hours ago. 8 of the people on this board came from this last weekend because I finally figured it out. So like,
that is awesome.
Everything that they just said, just do it. It's so much easier than we make it out to be.
I hope that
It's
helps
actually
everyone that may be stuck on trying
it's
to figure
crazy
it
how
out.
far Eddie has come too. Because when we first met, I think you were like 50 days in. You were halfway through your open house challenge.
Yep.
And you had sat 28 open houses at a new construction and only had 4 groups through the new construction. And you're making these little tweaks and like clearly it's paying off for you. So you've come very far, and it's definitely not like you've put so much effort into it and time into it, and that's why you're seeing the results.
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys, on open houses? Now's the time to ask. I see people posting about them daily, that they're doing them.
Yeah, I have a question. So to host, are you guys just messaging agents like that have listings in the area, or how are you getting these open houses?
I always just texted every agent that was in the specific area I wanted to host an open house. It didn't matter what brokerage they were with. It didn't matter anything. It didn't matter if they even told me no before on another one. I text them again. And eventually you find a few that like start to say yes, and they start to tell their friends about it too and everything. And then it becomes easy and you have more than enough houses that you could sit. But in the beginning, you just text every agent, say, hey, this is Peyson. I'm interested in sitting, 123 Main Street, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Is that okay? Just keep it super simple. Don't overthink it. Don't like I used to like try and be like, hey, I'll provide you a detailed report of exactly how everything goes. I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this in the text. I got more no's with that than just saying, hey, can I set an open house for you Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m.?
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I think I definitely overcomplicated some of the messages because I was trying to be very specific, but I think just that sounds better way to try it.
Yeah, don't be overly specific, I've learned. Like just simple, short, move to the next person. Don't spend forever like looking at things like just go text 30 people, one of them's going to say yes.
I have a
Here, I'm going to
question.
drop my text script in the chat for everybody.
Nice. Someone else was talking?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Aurora. Uh, I'm doing open houses. My goal is to do 3 a week, and I'm starting to get more confident when I'm talking to people. I'll get their information, but my question is, and I want your take on it, on this, is the problem that I have is I can get the lead, I get the phone number, I get the email, I get the name, and then I send the homes. I go through all the trouble of sending homes, but then they don't answer or they gave me the wrong information. Should I verify first, call them after, maybe a day after or right after the open house, say, hey, just want to confirm, like, we're going to do this and I want to make sure we're on the same page, and they answer. And if they don't answer, maybe not add them into the database so I don't like waste time like doing all the house searches and stuff. What do I do?
I call it BAMFAM. So in the open house, you provide so much value. But BAMFAM stands for book a meeting from a meeting. So in the open house, the one thing I'm shooting for is a coffee consult. And I make it sound like an absolute non-negotiable, and their home search is just going to be an absolute shipwreck if they don't. And I do that through one, I have like an off-market binder from calls that I make, which not everybody's going to have. But if you have a safe set of opportunities that are nearby, and you do really niche down on this area that you're doing the open houses in, you'll learn small things like what parks to go to, what coffee shops are the best, and what the girls in the area talk about. And I always allude to that. And then it's a super easy sell. I'm like, hey, Peyson, Aurora, I have an opening tomorrow. Can we swing out and go get some coffee around 12:30? Let's talk about this more. And they're like, yeah, of course. I'm like, okay, cool. What's a good number to text you at? I'm going to shoot you a quick text. And they're like, oh, okay. And in front of them, I'm texting them, hey, it was so great meeting you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 12:30. And then I'll also tell them, hey, I'm going to send you a video text once I get out of here. Look out for that. And they're already like stewing. They're like, what are we going to talk about tomorrow? He provided so much value in the open house. We're excited to meet him. We're excited to see this video. And so if you do that, that's why I completely stepped away from sign-in sheets like a year ago. And I'll just send those texts directly in front of them. And I'm like, hey, did you get that? And I'll look at their phone. It goes through. And I'm like, okay, cool. I know who I'm calling.
And if it doesn't go through?
Then it makes for an awkward situation. And you're like, oh, wait, was that a 7 or an 8? And they're like, oh, sorry, it was a 7. It's like, oh, okay.
So I've learned if you exchange phone, like whenever you get them writing down a phone number, guys, there's a really good chance they're going to write down a bad phone number. If you're literally like, hey, what's your phone number? And you literally have it open on the text and you're literally typing, no one's going to put in, like if you have it to where you're sending them a text live, they're not going to put in a bad phone number because then you text it right away in front of them and then you hear ding and then they like pull out their phone and you're like, oh yeah, that worked. That is like the best way to solve the whole phone number issue of it being a bad phone number. Um, and then you absolutely have to follow up with them immediately after you're done with the open house too. So you already sent that text, then you absolutely should be sending a video text or some type, at least something like bare minimum. If you can, though, ideally a video text personalized to that person, not like, hey, it was so great to meet you at the open house today at 123 Main Street. I'll send you some houses, because then it's like, okay, you could have sent that to 10 people after this. It's like, hey, Gabe, it was so great to meet you at 123 Main Street today. I know we talked about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I know that you have your dog, Lucky, that really needs a big backyard, and you're moving over this way because your kids, starting kindergarten at, whatever school. I'm going to find homes that match specifically that. And then you go and you once you get home, you send homes that match specifically that too. So you just keep just bringing it down. No other agents doing that. So, and the other thing too, guys, like, don't feel like you have to get the person before they leave the open house and say, hey, I'm working with you. I assume everyone's working with me. Never once have I gone to a buyer and been like, hey, so just confirming I'm your agent, right? It's just I'm just working with them. Even if they haven't said I'm working with you or not, or maybe they're not responding. I'm just assuming I'm their agent and it's just not their time to buy yet. And if you come in with that mindset, they're going to be like, dang, this is a good agent. And they just won't give up. They keep sending me houses that match my search. And they're going to do something with you at some point. But absolutely put every single lead you get from your open houses into the CRM because a lot of them are going to buy 6 months, 12 months, 24, 36 months from now. Or they're going to sell maybe during that time. And if you never put it in your CRM, you'll never know. You just wasted, however much time you sat at that open house realistically.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I'm sorry, Aurora. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I just had a quick question about it. Do we do the video response right away on the same day or the next day?
Same day.
Same day.
Same day.
I always do it. So I was always told to do it in front of a feature. Like if they're like, oh my gosh, we love this pool, just go stand out in front of the pool and you're like, hey, Aurora, it was great meeting you. And then send something personal. The other thing that I'll do, and I know it gets somewhat convoluted sometimes when you're trying to get an email. Here in Houston, we have HAR, it's our interface, it's our MLS. But in there, I can set up a saved search, and I always go back to that in the open house. I'm like, hey, now that I shot you a quick text, can you send me over your email? When I get back to the office, what I'm going to do is set up this save search. And then it's just such an easy in for them. Because now it's like, oh, okay, cool. So he's already sending us houses. We have his phone number. We're going to talk to him tomorrow. He already sent us a video. It's like nobody else is going to do that.
Hey, Gabe, you mentioned that you try to give them like an overwhelming amount of value at open houses. What are like the top few pieces of value that you try to strive for when you meet a prospect?
Okay. Did we lose Gabe? We've lost
Sorry, I'm
Gabe.
back. I had a phone call. The top 3 value propositions that I provide to a prospect walking into the open house.
Not necessarily 3, but just the top ones that you try to provide, that you try to like hit on, for providing them an overwhelming amount of value.
Um, I I have a few that kind of just slit everybody else's throat, and that's the reason I do them. Um, I do circle prospecting every morning in the exact same market that I do open houses in. So mine's super easy. There's not a single other agent that's hosting open houses on a daily basis. And I can guarantee you there's not another agent who's also making 300 cold calls every morning to sellers who haven't even raised their hand. So I immediately allude to that. I have an off market binder of people who I actively spoke with that morning. The other thing is I run the largest relocation team here in Houston, or I should say we do. So my 3 largest value propositions are the amount of open houses that I host and the people that I meet within those open houses, connecting off-market buyers to off-market sellers. The other thing is the circle prospecting that I do in the morning, speaking to actually off-market sellers. And then the other thing is we have a huge database of, YouTube clients and actual videos to help these clients that are relocating to said area. However, what I will say is prior to even doing all of that, my simple value propositions where I'm going to be the quickest to respond. I do the most open houses in this market area, and the amount of agents that I know and that can collect off market opportunities together is bar none the best. And so if you're not doing the circle prospecting and you're not doing the volume of open houses, I would rely on that. Rely on how responsive you are. If you are responsive, kind of personalize it to yourself. I've built up like this ironclad now for open houses, and that's really my value stack. That's why it's like the conversations for me in open houses are a gimme. I just have to have somebody walk in and I'll pick somebody up. But for you, I would just focus on like what makes me special. Are you the most responsive? Do you run the best CMAs? Do you work on Sundays? Do you not work on Sundays? Like really get crystal clear on where your value propositions come in. And don't be afraid to like scream them from the high heavens. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I have a dog. That's pretty much it. My one importance in my life right now is running my business. And I make that abundantly clear to my clients. I say the only time you're not going to be able to reach me is on Sunday mornings from 9 a.m. to 10:30. I'm at church. Apart from that, I'm going to answer your phone call. And if I don't, I'll call you back in 30 minutes. I'm probably in another meeting. So that was kind of where I got crystal clear. So just personalize that to yourself and like I said, just preach it.
Before we go on to anything else, hold on just a second. How many homes have you sold this year, Gabe?
29 year to date, closed and pending. I have one closing in an hour and 14 minutes.
And how old are you again, Gabe?
22.
Okay, now we can keep moving. What were you going to say, Eddie?
I was going to say real quick, Drake. So in terms of like the off-market binder, what I have done, because I don't prospect like Gabe does, is I go on the MLS like once a month now, and I just literally search for all the expired houses just in any city or suburb in the last 7 days when I'm doing the search. Go on the map and I take a screenshot of it, and then that's the basis of it, because I'm not going to like pull the actual addresses and try to advertise those houses because we don't necessarily know. But if you have the off market binder and then you can pull up that screenshot, print it out, you'd be like, hey, these are all people that are potential sales opportunities that a lot of other agents don't actually know or even talk about, whereas I go and I do this once a month, once a week, whatever you want to tell them. And then two, if your brokerage does this, because mine does, every week we have a list of withheld listings or off-market only listings. And so when they send out that spreadsheet, literally all I do is on Mondays, I just print it out real quick, put it in the binder too. I take out the specific addresses because I don't want them to be able to look it up. I want it to come through me. But what I tell them is, and then these, about 30% of the houses that my company, my brokerage sells are done off market. And these are all the current, opportunities that we have to get you in to see a house that's totally competition free, that the seller is motivated. They just don't want to list it on the open market right now. Those are two pieces you can work with so that they can see that you have the off market value. Like that's the only way that I do my off market binder. If I was prospecting for investment deals like I used to, then yeah, I'd use that too. But for the time being, this is what I'm rolling with, and it's sparked some pretty good conversations out of it.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've been using I've been printing off expired listings in like the area, and I'm realizing like for every open house I do with this, I'm wasting a lot of paper, and it's like nobody's actually even seen the binder. Like it's a red binder, like Sam says. I put like off-market deals on it, and nobody's even looking at it yet. So I think I need to like adjust my off-market binder,
Pointed out, a lot of people.
Oh, we lost you, Gabe.
We're
losing you, Gabe.
I always think about five.
Gabe, you're breaking up pretty bad.
I guarantee you that there's not a single other agent that has one of those. Can you hear me now?
Talk again. You just cut out that entire thing you said.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yeah, everything you just said that we couldn't hear.
What is going on with this thing? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. With the off-market binder, you just have to stick it in their face because they're not going to see it otherwise. And I say that metaphorically. Don't literally do that, but point it out. Like I set mine on the kitchen island. I have in our marketplace, it's very common to have like a listing feature booklet in a sense. So I have that, and I have my off-market binder right next to each other, and I'll set my computer up. This is another pro tip, like getting really granular. I'll have my MacBook open, and I'll either have FUB open because I'm doing like calls if nobody's there, or I'll have my calendar, and I keep my calendar open during the open house because I'm already shooting for that coffee consult. The other thing is I run a really tight ship, so there's a lot of appointments on my calendar. If they're like, oh, we'll do this day and this time, I flip my computer around. I'm like, well, I actually have a meeting that day, but can we plan on this day? And they're like, holy shit, like what does this guy do? Like now we do actually want to meet with you. So I would say keep it on the kitchen island, and you have to make sure you point it out because otherwise they're just going to overlook it. It's just another binder.
Copy that.
Cool. Anything else before we jump off? I have to go shoot to an appointment. I have to go drive somewhere about 20 minutes. So anything else before we wrap up real quick? Was that helpful today? for everyone's open houses. Did everyone at the beginning of the call too get the 2 PDFs for the content dashboard? If you want to rip that off from the beginning of the call, it's at the
I
top
did
of
not
the Zoom
because
chat.
like a few minutes late. Yeah, if you can resend it.
Okay. I'll drop it in Discord right now. I'll just drop it in Discord right after this. But just drop that into Cloud Code. It'll literally build the whole content dashboard that I showed at the beginning of the call. So it's pretty cool and pretty helpful. So I will see you guys on Thursday. Thank you all a ton. Thank you for everyone that jumped in and helped too. I'm sure everyone got a lot of value out of this today. So cool.
Thanks, guys.